All right, here's a question for you. Tube amp or modeling? So tube amp or digital? What do you think? This one is a loaded question. This is one of those, top 2 or 3 debates in the guitar community. Do you like a tube amp or do you like modeling? Tube amp like a Fender Twin, a Fender Deluxe, a Vox AC30, big old Marshall stack, with a head and cabinets and all that stuff. Or do you like a Fender GTX amplifier or, a Black Star ID core kind of deal, which usually have all sorts of built-in effects and options and presets and all that. Where you get into the debate, everybody knows this is, tube amps there's like an it factor. They're cool. They're vintage. They're real in that you've got these tubes that get hot and real, and they've got a real spring reverb. Some of them do, and you kick the amp and it, jiggles and all that. The tone, people would say the tone is unmatched. You're going to get this real sort of like authentic, organic feel. And when you go from a clean thing just on the edge of breakup, suddenly it starts to get that nice tube distortion without pedals. It's amazing. All those things, could be true. They're also really heavy. They weigh like, 35, 40, 50, 60 pounds, some of the amps. The tubes can break. They don't have a lot of built-in effects. I mean, usually they've got a reverb and a tremolo, maybe. Get some natural distortion, but if you can't, if you dial in the perfect thing and twist some knobs later, you come back, you're like, I should have taken a picture of it. Whereas digital, you've got presets and saving. You can save stuff and quickly move from an acoustic preset to a full-on electric with stereo delay and reverb and you name it, and flip over to a bass preset and all that. And they're light. Tube amps are really expensive. Digital are a lot cheaper. Tube amps are probably going to last forever. You'll have one for, a decade or 2 decades, your whole life, and digital might be bricked in a couple years if they don't keep going supporting software. So you got all these different debates. At the end of the day, if I had to pick, I'd say both. That's like a politician's answer. I see value in both of them. They're both awesome and great in their own ways. So I'm curious about, what about you? If you had to only pick one, let's put it this way: if you had $2,000, no, let's say $1,500 US, and you could spend $1,000 on an amp or $1,000 on a guitar, the other $500 you had to do on the other one. In other words, you get a $1,000 amp, $500 guitar, or do you get a $500 guitar or with a $1,000 amp, which typically gets you, out of the digital range, and you're into a tube kind of setup. So what about you? What's your vote? Let me know in the comments. But that is a big firestorm debate. All right, keep on rolling here.